Welcome back, and in today's video, I'd like to go over a topic that I discussed in a previous video, but I kind of want to outline things a little bit better. Because before, I spoke a little bit about my past and my previous experiences, and I got to the money aspect, and then y'all turned the video off. I'm gonna be honest with you, right? So people look for the money, they see the money, they just left. But I think there's a lot more that encompasses how much we make as carpenters as far as the benefits and what our union does for us that kind of goes undersold, right? People see the paycheck, and I say, well, I don't know, man, the work is hard, but the paycheck is decent. It's not mind-blowing. I'm good. So now I want to go over, yes, the money is good. I mean, it's dope. I'm not gonna front to you. The money is phenomenal, especially with no college education, no college debt. The money is phenomenal, but also some of the benefits we get from a union that you wouldn't think that you would get, especially, with no HR department, without somebody overseeing and making sure that everything is done properly. We get a lot of benefits. And so in this video, I want to go over that. And also I'm going to show you my pay stub so you guys can see for a fact how much we make. So you can see, okay, what kind of lifestyle would that lend to me if I was in that position? What kind of experiences could I have? Vacations could I go on? How could I see material benefits by working in the union? So in this video, we're going to go over that, and we're going to go over the union, and hope you guys enjoy. Thank you. First and foremost, I want to go over the union, what it does for you as a carpenter, how it benefits you. Just a point of reference, I'm from local 1503, Portland area. So if you guys are planning on doxing me or harassing me, that's where you can find me. I'm gonna be probably downtown, maybe Vancouver, you never know. So you might see me out there. So the main thing that the union does for you is they are an advocate for you. They are the middleman in between the owners and the workers. They're the middleman, right? And that's the benefit because we all come together and they make sure that all of our interests are met. Now, the way they do that is they have negotiations, they hire lawyers, the owners have lawyers, and then we all have discussions, and then we talk about, okay, was this negotiating contract, was it worth what we wanted it to be? How can we improve on it? And this process goes on for months at a time, and then finally we get a final bargain and they say, okay, do we approve it? Yes or no? So at the end of the day, it's still highly democratic. We still get a choice on, do we want to approve the vote or not? Some people kind of get, disgruntled. They feel like they're not really getting exactly what they want. But at the end of the day, in a true democracy, you're never going to be fully happy, right? Same thing we see every year when it comes to elections. Republicans get some wins, Democrats get mad. Democrats get some wins, Republicans get mad. That's how it works. If one side is just smashing the side out over and over again, it tends to make this one side corrupt and this side demoralized. So you want to have wins on both sides. You're not going to win every time, but for the most part, you want to have a balance. I would much rather get a $2 an hour raise every year than get a $20 an hour raise this year and get laid off for a year, 3 years after that, because we price ourselves way out of the market. Now let's go over some of the benefits that you're not going to see in your check, but that we receive every hour of the day that are untaxed. And these are fringe benefits that we're given that you're not going to hear people boast about per se, but are phenomenal. I'm talking about, first and foremost, our healthcare. We get about $7.69. That's almost about $8 an hour for our healthcare, and all that money goes into a huge pool where some people use it, some people don't. I know a lot of younger guys don't go to the doctor very often, and that helps out a lot of the older guys. So all that money comes together, and we're able to use that the same way the government uses Medicare. They're able to take that huge lump sum of money and negotiate with other insurance companies for the best price, whether it be Kaiser or Blue Cross Blue Shield. They use that, and so we're able to get lower deductibles, we're able to get better co-pays, and that's great because as a collective, you don't have to worry about, as an older guy, paying a crazy amount of insurance, because now as you get older, you start falling apart a little more, you need more medicine. You're not having to pay those huge skyrocketing prices because you paid in a lot when you were younger. And that's why that collective works really good. You pay in when you're younger, and when you're older, younger guys are paying in for you. So it kind of helps everything balance out. I think that's a great system that we have in our union. Next, another thing we get paid is about $8.20 an hour for retirement. We know what retirement is. It's our pension. It locks in like after a certain amount of time you've been in the union. I think we changed the rules. It used to be 80 and out. So it means like your age plus your work. If it equals 80, then you retire. there. I think things change a little bit. I think the requirement is like 65 now, but I'm not exactly sure. I gotta look into that. Again, you're paying into your retirement so that when you retire, you have a decent living. I know so many guys now are working in construction. They may be doing piecework, maybe working a good job, making decent money, but they're not paying towards their retirement. They're not paying towards their future. So if something was to happen where they got disabled or, the end of the road where they really can't do this work anymore because their body is kind of like, falling apart, they don't have a retirement plan because they just maxed out their whole body when they're younger, and now there's no default plan to fall back on. And I think that's why it's good to have a retirement plan, to have, and again, if you can, save for a 401k for the side so you can supplement that income. As much as you can save now and use that compounding interest to help you out in the future, that's the best thing you can do. And then another fringe benefit we do is it's about $1 an hour we pay towards apprentices education. Now that pays towards the training centers, that pays towards sending people to Vegas so they can get better training, different skills. This is how the union stays competitive with more aggressive non-union companies that are gonna accept less money. We have to be more educated. We have to be more skillfully trained so that we are gonna give the best product to owners and our employers. And so that's why the union pays a lot into those things so that they make sure that when they send us out there in the field that we are some of the best carpenters out there. Again, like I said before, we're not always going to be the best every single day, but you'd hope that overall, because we're more skill trained, we're more safety oriented, that we're not costing companies more money than we're actually worth. And I think it shows because they pay us these wages, and we go to the negotiation table, they actually understand that what we're worth, and we get that money. I know there's some confusion on, do you actually work for the union, or do you work for a company, or do you work for some in between? Now, there are a few carpenters that actually work for the union itself. They may be like ambassadors. They may go to like the high schools. They may go to other jobs to make sure that, if they do have union contracts in there or government money in there, they're following all the rules. They're not hiring a whole bunch of guys who are illegal and that they're, paying them on the table. I think that's the most important thing. Like, you always hear the argument against like illegal immigrants and the construction field and why a lot of people get angry. I don't think it's anything to do with the actual people that are trying to, make a living and survive in America. But I think the major issue is those wages, when they're able to pay them so much less money, it suppresses everybody else's wages because now you're competing against a person who will take a lot less. And that makes things more difficult, especially when, the cost of living is constantly going up, inflation is constantly going up. And so if you're fighting against people who are getting taken advantage of, it makes it very difficult. And that's what our union does. They send out reps to go to make sure everything's going out responsibly. They make sure that if a company is making people work a lot of overtime, they're getting that out, their wages. They make sure that everything's done responsible. There's not going to be sexual harassment if you're a woman. There's not going to be racism going on if you're a minority. There's not going to be like, hey, you're a white guy, get off the job because you're white. All these type of things might happen potentially, but our union's there to help with that. Our union's there to make sure that all of our members are getting treated with respect and dignity. I think it's important. It's like having an HR. It's not as strict and it's not as so corporate because, hey, a lot of people in the union, they have foul mouths. It's still one of those kind of like rough and tumble jobs still. So as long as things are done in an appropriate way, like people aren't being overtly racist or being overtly like misogynistic or whatever, things have kind of like, we understand what it is. This is still like the trades, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, the union does a great job with that. I'm going to give you an example. I was on a job where you're not going to believe this, but a lot of times there's a lot of beefing that goes on in the porta potties. Yeah, I said that. The porta potties. They're writing messages, hey, I love Trump. Trump's awesome. 2024. And someone's like, man, hey, Trump is trash. I don't like Orange Man, super bad, garbage guy. And then they'll go back and forth like, well, your mom, this and this. And so this is going on for about 3 months on a job site I was on. And then eventually there was an all black electrical company and somebody put a noose near their job shack area around one of their, where all their tools are being staged. Now, to me, that was wild. That wasn't a wild, escalation of what was going on in the bathrooms. It was just out of pocket. It was out of control. You know what I'm saying? You can't let things like that happen, because once those things happen, that's like pretty much a threat. Now violence might ensue. So once that was seen, the union was informed. I mean, the Carpenters union, the electricians, the laborers, the pipe fitters, the iron workers, everybody came down like it was a 5-alarm emergency, because people understand what that means when you have rampant acts like racism going on, or if you have things like that in the porta potties, like where things have kind of escalated. You never want to see anything get crazy on a job site, or someone can get injured or a fight. So they came down, they figured out the situation, what happened, people got fired, and everything was resolved. And it kind of gave me, a better understanding and respect for our unions, because they understand what it means. Now, there's some times we might laugh and pop jokes, but also they understand the importance of making sure things get nipped in the bud before things go crazy and things escalate into physical violence or something like that. So going over the numbers, like I said before, I make $43.80, and for a 40-hour week, I make $1,752. That's before taxes. Now, I get about $581 taken out each check, and so I finish at about close to $1,200, about $1,170. Now, about 60 of those dollars are our field vacation. Now, that's our vacation fund that they take out of our check. It's about $1.50 an hour, and they do that. It's a forced savings account we get back every month, and they put on a little debit card. They do that because, in some states, they require that you have some kind of sick time or vacation time, and so instead of them paying that from our companies, they just put it on our check separate, but we get it on the card. So it's a process. I mean, back in the day, what they used to do was give us a check either quarterly, bi-yearly, or annually. I know a lot of guys used to save that money for Christmas time, or for summer vacation and Christmas time, or just a little bump up every quarter of the year. Some guys should take those checks and just save them so they can, potentially have a big purchase like a house or something. And I think it's beneficial, but I also think that giving people access to their money is important, especially when it comes to the vacation fund. If you can't control yourself, put the card in a bowl, put some water in it, put it in the freezer. You know what I'm saying? So if you have to get the money, you have to actually fight for it. You actually have to go through some steps, so it's not just so accessible. But so really when it comes down to it, we make about $1,200, $1,230 a week. Now, I think that's phenomenal, especially again, with no college education, and being able to pay for my son's childcare, being able to go to vacations. I'm able to go see Dave Chappelle, Bill Burr. I've been, to Boston, seeing the Patriots games, going to Vegas, going to Mexico every year. I'm able to have a lifestyle that I'm proud of. You know what I mean? That all the hard work, it pays off too. Every time when it's pouring rain and I'm drenched, or it's hot as hell outside and I'm soaking sweat, it makes sense. It's worth it. I'm paying in towards my retirement. I have dope healthcare, and I'm able to live a life of dignity. That I'm actually making a good amount of money where I can really fully embrace the American dream. I was talking to my cousin, and one of the things that, we kind of really keyed on is you can't really enjoy America for what it really is until your head is above water, until you're able to breathe a little bit, until you're able to, not worry about a car expense breaking you, or, when the pump gets a little bit higher for gas prices, it just completely breaks your back. When you make a good amount of money and your union fights for you for those wages, it gives you some breathing room. You really can see America for how good it really is. And that's why, again, the politicians didn't do that. The companies didn't do that. The union does that. Because sometimes you need a counterbalance to these two counterbalances, you know what I'm saying? And that's why the unions are so dope. That's why I appreciate them. And again, I want to be transparent with you so you can see exactly what it looks like. A lot of people are going to tell you some false advertisements. They're going to lie to you. They're going to want you to do your research. I want to lay it all out for you, because transparency is the best policy. And then now you're not confused on what's going on. You know what I'm saying? You get to make a choice for yourself. And I think that's what's so so important. Now, if you like this content, I'm making more content like this about the unions. I'm gonna do some tool reviews. I'm gonna show you my truck. I'm gonna show you my pack out system of the tools that I bring every day. I'm gonna go over some tools, like some tricks that I know as far as like tape measures, speed squares, going over, jargon for tools. I think it's important because a lot of guys, they say, hey, go get me the skill saw. Well, that's not a skill saw. That's a circular saw. It's just common parlance of what carpenters might call things, you know what I'm saying? So it's important that, we help each other. I want to build a community. There's not a lot of people advocating for the trades on YouTube, period, right? But also people are constantly looking for a get rich quick scheme, how to make it into the middle class, like how to really enjoy the American dream. Well, it's not easy, and it's never been easy. I don't care what anybody tells you about how boomers had it, all this other stuff, with the GI bills and all this stuff. People risked their lives. People died in World War I and II. People died in Vietnam. This stuff has never been easy. People moved into areas where it wasn't accessible back in the past, and now the highway system has kind of really been revitalized. Now it looks like everything's all dope. Things have never been easy. They never will be easy. If you really want it, you're gonna have to strive. You're gonna have to fight for it. And the question is, do you wanna do that? Now, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. I appreciate you guys, and I'm gonna have more content for you guys coming up real soon. Thank you guys.